Tractate Bava Batra, page 141. Pleasure to be here, New York. Study Daf Yomi. Thank you all, not only those who are here, but others who watch us around the globe. Thank you for all your emails, and words of encouragement. Here we are with the subject of Yerusha, inheritance, when it's come to son and daughter. As we learned in the past, that Torah requires Yerusha to the sons only if there are no sons. Then it's go to the daughters. But there are many questions when it's come to son or daughters. It can turn that the daughters get more than the son in all kind of circumstances. We're going to learn the financial expectations when it's come to the support of the children. We should remember that the historical context obviously is different. In the Talmudic times, daughters, girls, women are in a sense way less involved with generating income. The way the Rashbam explained to us, a father prefers to give a support to his daughter, since especially in those days she's less capable of supporting herself, and we don't want her to go and ask for charity, the Rashbam said. Others said it's because the father's obligation with the dowry, especially in those days, the rabbi said that it was part of the commitment of the father. You see in many cultures that happened. So here we are with the first question, which is someone make a pre-statement before his wife deliver a child, and that's the Mishnah tells us, 3 lines from the top of page 141, Haomer im yalda ishti zachar. If someone says, if my wife give a birth to a baby boy, so the child, the offspring, shall receive 100 dinar, and if she gave birth to a baby boy, so it's different, because if he says that my wife give birth to a female, it's 200. And as we explained, the bat adifa lemibein, that it's appeared the way look on the surface that the daughter get more. As we said, there are several reasons why, especially with the historical context, why daughters need to get more money, more support from the father. There are all kind of ideas what's the quote-unquote in our language will of Hashem, and how the structure of the house should be when it's come to Yerusha. But here, during lifetime, obviously, the child, especially the girl, there is a certain structure in the house that the father rather supporting the אמר רבי יוחנן משום רבי שמעון בן יוחאי, כל שאינו מניח בן ליורשו, הקדוש ברוך הוא מלא עליו עברה. So there are several explanations. What does that mean? Generally speaking, we have to think in a positive way, and the way that we learn it is the great Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai, which we all know. Those who have the privilege to go to Meiron, sing Bar Yochai, great man, was in a cave with his son for so many years, etc. So here he wants to encourage people to have a child. Some rabbis say that the Radak and others say that mitzvah of priya or via, be procreative. It's the idea of having both baby, boy and girl. But it's all kind of explanation. What does that mean? God is angry or unhappy, or all kind of statement. What exactly meaning that God did not bless someone with the sons? But obviously people should not get this as offense, offensive statement. But anyway, you do what you can. שנאמר, ועברתם את נחלתו לביתו. The Torah described the story with the daughter of Tzlofchad. They ask God in the book of Bamidbar, chapter 27, they said if the person have no sons, then by force of circumstance you transfer his estate to his daughter. So since the Torah used the term והעברתם, which means that you transfer, והן העברה אלא לשון, אלא עברה עברה שנאמר יום עברה ביום ההוא. So we try to derive from the statement that Sfanya said, that they use the negative connotation of Evra. Evra, it's like rough. To say that the wish of a person that the estate transfer to his so the Torah Chaim have here different avenues. What is the will of a person, what is the will of God, but we go just the way the Rashbam explained. But here the Gemara explained L'inyan Yerusha ben Adifle, which is when it's come to inheritance, we're speaking about estate, the father preferred to have son, not a daughter. Why? That's what we read in the book of Ruth, and that's what we read in the book of Devarim. The idea of perpetuation of a name toward his son and daughter, she's going by her husbands, and that's the general structure, the way that Torah described it, because the daughter of Tzlofchad was a excellent example, since it was 5 daughters and no sons. So they said, Linan harvacha, when it's come to a abundance of sustenance, bito adifale. For him, his daughter is preferable to his son, as his son is more capable of coping for himself, and the daughter needs to have more support. That's one explanation. Another one, Shmuel Amar, Acha bimvakeret askinan. Here we speak about a situation that wife delivered the first child, the first time. That's the sugya. V'hacha, that's the Mishnah. Kid Rav Chizda, as Rav Chizda teaches us, Namar Rav Chizda bat chila siman yafeh lebanim. Rav Chizda said, if woman deliver first a baby girl, it's a sign that, God willing, she will have a sons. I cannot get over this sugya without telling you a story that happens in my childhood. It's, again, you have to remember that it's a different culture and different time. I feel like I'm from the era of the dinosaurs. But anyway, it was in those days, many, many years ago, a fellow that lived in the neighborhood, in Haifa, where I grew up. And he was walking in the shuk. He had few bastot, few places that he sold his vegetables. As far as schooling, I don't know how much schooling this man, but he have a lot of money. And one day he came to the synagogue in the morning, and he was, at the end of the service, my late father have a line of people that was standing there, and those who watch us from Haifa will recall, to ask Dad questions in halacha, etc. So he was standing at the end of the line, and then Dad was a little hungry, so he followed him to our apartment. And he was standing there, he refused to eat or drink, he was like down, depressed. So Dad and Mom said to him, what happened, Yichye? Was the old-fashioned Yemenite Jew. So he said, I'm so embarrassed I can't tell you. So obviously, my mom, my dad tried to push him, and he was like, no. Then eventually they came out of him. He says, I'm so sorry, but my wife just delivered a baby girl. And my parents were so kind of strong with him. That's what's wrong with you, and it's such a blessing, it's such a wonderful thing that you have a daughter. And my late father quote for him this Gemara that you start with daughter, and then God willing, that's Hashem, you have sons too. But the perception was like it's a crisis happened to him. I never forget that. Anyway, Ika de Amre. So here is another avenue with the reason of Rav Chizda that said that his first daughter, the Mirabya La'achaya, that she helped the mother, or in a sense the brothers that come after her, she helped mom to raise the children that followed her. As the oldest daughter, she's good helping mommy. I remember it's a family in Israel, I can mention name because we are such a close friends, Wallach is their name. They live in Gush Bonim in Yerushalayim. So they are blessed with 18 children, yes. And the mother looks young and beautiful, the father is my friend. And I asked him once, what's the secret? And he says it's simple, the oldest children help to raise the youngest children. Anyway, amazing family. I know in Kfar Chabad also a family like that with 18 children. Anyway, so they said, Ve'ika de Amrei, this better, de lo shalta be'ena bisha. So that's Rabbeinu Gershom said that it's like evil eye. That people ask, how many children you have? I know so many people, they afraid to say how many children or grandchildren they have. Say either it's the issue of jealousy, or the Marsha said the whole idea of giving double portion to the first sons. Some explain that people envy the father because he has a firstborn son. The Marsha explains that the envy is directed to the firstborn son. Obviously the reason is because he receives a double portion of the inheritance, and so also causes some hostility or potential hostility between him and his brothers. By contrast, when the firstborn is a daughter, all of the sons inherit equally, and there is supposed to be no tension in the family. Anyway, אמר רב חיסדא, ולדידי בנתן עדיפן לי מבני. So he said when you speak about me, obviously I prefer daughters to sons. Rashbam said he's not clear why is that. Some said because they marry Talmidei Chachamim. It's all kind of ideas. What's the reason he said it? Anyway, so again, to support daughter more than the son. Hey Rabbi Yehuda, Ileima Rabbi Yehuda de Bakol, the Tanya. We learn about Avraham Avinu that God bless Abraham Bakol. Bakol, Hashem berach et Avraham Bakol. God bless him with everything. Rabbi Meir Omer שלא היה לו בת. So it means that the Ramban explained that Rabbi Meir hold that it's a bracha because it was an issue to marry the daughter in those days. Ramban explained also that the issue of leaving the country and going and potentially worship idol, which was a big desire in those days. Rabbi Yehuda אומר שהייתה לו בת ובכל שמה. That's a well-known statement. Many, Rashi, Ramban, many others mentioned that the name of his child, his baby girl, was Bakol. So you derive from that the father hold a great bracha, a great blessing to have daughter, in a sense, more than sons. So he come and objected it. He said, אמור דשמעתי לרבי יהודה ברתה נמי לו חסרי רחמנה לאברהם, that God bless Abraham with everything, including having a daughter. דעדיפה מבין מי שמעת לי. How do you know that it's preferable more than having this son? So he said, אלא רבי יהודה דתניא מצווה על האב לזון את הבנות. So that's important to know that when you use the term mitzvah, what does that mean, mitzvah? It's a literally meaning it's a commandment. But many rabbis say that it's not really a commandment. The way that the Beit Shmuel explained, I'm just reading the translation to English. One is not required, even by rabbinic law, to provide sustenance for his children beyond the age of 6. Even so, if one is financially able to support his children and they are unable to support themselves, it is incumbent upon him to support them. So this is part of one's obligation to give charity, and obviously charity starts home, enable his sons to study Torah and his daughters to behave virtuously and not be disgraced. And the court coerces one to fulfill these charitable obligations. That's the well-known Rashbam, Ilchot Matnot Aniyim, chapter 10, and also the Shulchan Aruch Yoredea, 251 and Even HaEzer 71. So what you see here, it's all kind of reason why. But as far as the mitzvah, Mibsarcha Litalen, Rashbam said, you have to take care of your family, but again, you have to structure it properly, that if he is capable financially to do it, we push him hard to make it happen. וקל וחומר לבנים, the עסקי בתורה דברי Rabbi Meir said that what's more value than the study Torah, and therefore they will be able, the sons, to occupy themselves with study Torah since they have the financial means. רבי יהודה אומר מצווה לזון את הבנים, קל וחומר לבנות, דלא לתזלן. As we said, the fear is that they will not disgrace by having to beg, for example, for their livelihood. So what we see that the obligation of one to provide sustenance for his children, Rabbi Yehuda gives preference to his daughters, to the daughters, not his, to the daughters. אלא הדתניא, ילדה זכר ונקבה. If the wife have a twin babies, baby boy and baby girl, הזכר נוטל 6 דינרים והנקבה נוטלת 2 דינרים. So the baby boy, which again, remember those days, so this he gets 1 dinar, it's 25 silver dinar. That's called also zuz. So here's the difference. This one 6, the females 2 b'mai. What exactly we are speaking here, what the circumstantial situation that you spread it in certain way. אמר רב אשי, אמרית לשמעתי כמד רב כהנא במסרס. Here we talk about a situation that the male is born, that meaning that one who is inverted the stipulation of the gift, which is, the idea is, the Amar, the father said in the condition, זכר תחילה 200 ונקבה אחריו ולא כלום. נקבה תחילה מנה, זכר אחריה מנה. So basically he put a condition that when you have twin, male and female, he gives 200. But if the male will be first, he take everything. If she be the female, each one of them will take 100. וילדה זכר ונקבה, ולא ידין ה' מינה ונפק בראשה. Those days, particularly, they don't know which one is first, who is second. So therefore, idach maneh, have mamon mutal besafek vecholkin. That's something we learn many times. When you're not sure about money, you just divide it equally between, in this case, male and female. So the Gemara challenged that with the subject we discuss not only here, but also in other places when his wife is pregnant and a person puts certain condition when it's come to a gift. If his wife gave birth to a male and a female, and he received only 100 dinar, in which way you can find this type of circumstances? Amaravina bim vasreini. He said, I shall give a certain sum, who inform me. So it means it's not in this bride that the father give a gift to male or female that was born, but he's talking about the person that give him the information about this upcoming simcha. Page 141, the Tanya. Hamvasreini bame niftar rachma shel ishti. So here they said in the Sefta, one who said, whoever informed me as to what opened my wife's womb, which means what exactly the sex of the child is, if it's a male or female, יטול מנה, ילדה זכר נוטל מנה, אם נקבה מנה, ילדה נקבה נוטל מנה, ואם זכר מנה. So the question is, but if אם נקבה מנה, ילדה נקבה נוטל מנה, ילדה זכר ונקבה, אין לו אלא מנה. If it's both male and female, so only 100. והזכר ונקבה לא אמר. He didn't say נקבה, he said whatever opened the womb. So he said, דאמר נמי, אם זכר נקבה נמי יטול מנה, אלא למותי מאי, למאותי נפל, which is a non-viable baby that was born, that in that sense, it received nothing, it didn't survive. Anyway, Hauda amra ledevitu. So here was a fellow that said to his wife, Nechasai lehaide me about. Says, I give my estate to the offspring that come out of your womb. So Tosfot explained, you see it in other Rishonim, that here the chidush is that he can make it without maaseh kinyan, just by expression of words. Big problem is that the whole maaseh kinyan, the zchiyah, is a problematic because how someone else can do it for him. But anyway, let's read the sugya first. So he said, Amaravuna have mezake leubar, v'mezake leubar lo kana. Why? Because we explained it many times that that's the way Rashbam and others said that makne davar shelo ba laolam. If someone try to transfer ownership of something that is not yet in the world, it's ineffective. That's the way the Rambam tell us in Ilchot Mechira, chapter 22, one who cannot transfer ownership of an item to one who is not yet come into the world. Therefore, if one transfers ownership to an unborn child, the fetus does not require it, even if the giver says that the transfer of ownership should take effect only when the child is born. You see it also in the Choshen Mishpat in 210. Eitivei רב נחמן לרב הונא, אומר אם ילדה אשתי איתו זכר מנה, ילדה זכר נוטל מנה. אמר לו משנתנו, איני יודע משנאה. I don't know who basically teaches this Mishnah, because it's not matching any of these Tanaim. The Rimigash and the Rashbam explain that it's a possibility, the way we derive from them, that the text somehow corrupted, make mistakes. But anyway, ולמה לרב מאיר, אמר רב אדם מקנה דבר שלא בא לעולם. אולי אני say that that's follow רב מאיר, that said that a person can transfer ownership to a produce that is not yet grown. So it can be an entity that's not yet in this world. So maintaining that one can transfer ownership to an item like a fetus, it's not yet born. אימו דשמעת לרב מאיר דבר שישנו בעולם, דבר שאינו בעולם, מי שמעת לי? We know always that we're speaking about something that's feasible, that is in the world. But a fetus, how do you know? ולמלא רבי יוסי. So maybe it's the view of Rabbi Yossi. Amar ubar kanei. Rabbi Yossi said that ubar, the fetus, acquire ownership. That's Gemarrah in Yevamot 67. Ditnan ubar posel beno machil divrei Rabbi Yossi. So here is the well-known Rambam in Ilchot Trumot chapter 8, who said a fetus causes its mother to be disqualified from partaking of Trumah, but does not enable its mother to partake Trumah. How so? It is prohibited for a priest's daughter who is pregnant from the regular Israel man to partake the Trumah, as she is the mother of the Israelites in addition. If the daughter of a non-priest married a priest, and her husband died and left her pregnant, she does not partake the Trumah as the mother of a Kohen, even though the child have the lineage of the Kohanim. So the Gemara said, Shana Yerusha Haba'a Me'elea. When it's come to inheritance, it's in a way comes into possession by itself to the heir. So that's the way the Rashbam explained that the fetus can acquire inheritance, it's not the structure of a gift. ולמה לרבי יוחנן בן ברוקאי, דאמר לא שנה ירושה ולא שנה מתנה, he said that there's no difference between inheritance and a gift. דתנן רבי יוחנן בן ברוקאי אומר, אם אמר על מי שראוי ליורשו דבריו קיימים. If he said someone who is fitting in the future to be his heir, which is one of his sons, so the person will inherit all of my property, his statement stands. אימו דשמעת לרבי יוחנן בן ברוקה, דבר שישנו בעולם. דבר שאינו בעולם, מי אמרת? All of that applies to something that exists in the world. But these entities did not come here to the world. How do you know it? ולמה לרבי יוחנן בן ברוקה, וסבר לה כרבי יוסי, ממר דסבר לי. So the Gemara said, you have to say that here we talk about someone who's basically the father said that one who informed me. So that the future baby in the world. יחד יקטן ספר ומן שם יורש אלא הוא יורש הכל. אי במסרני יורש מה יבידתי. Because the Mishnah is not speaking any form of present to the heir at all. ולמלא בישי ילדה. You have to say that Rav Nachman speaks in the Mishnah in a situation that the woman already delivered the child at the time that the father transferred the ownership to that baby. So therefore, יחד דקטני סייף אביו, אמר כל מה שתלד אשתי ילטול, הרי זה ייטול, whoever my offspring of my wife give birth, it shall receive, and he specified a certain sum amount, and she gave birth to, for example, she tumtum, so the tumtum receives it. So it's a the problem is because if you go by this, is a kol sheteled kol she'alda mibayalei. The language here is whatever offspring my wife give birth to is incorrect, because the Mishnah will say whatever offspring my wife gave birth to. 142 velei malei de amar. When the father said lich sheteled, which means when she gave birth, so it means that the child already is there, it's already existed. Ravuna al-Tamed amar Ravuna af lich sheteled lo kana. Amar Rav Nachman המזכה לעובר לא קנה, לכשתגדלת קנה, ורב ששת אמר אחד זה ואחד זה קנה. So the way we understand that the view of Rav Sheshet, you hold a fetus, it's considering something that is כמו שלא בא לעולם, that's not yet existed in the world, so therefore they have the זכייה בפועל, you can transfer it the way it is. But as you see, that's the view of the Gemarrah, that's the structure of the Shita of the view of Ravuna, that Rav Nachman said that one mezakeh la'ubar is not make the acquisition, and you see Rav Huna said even lichsheteled, even if he says that the transfer of ownership of the item should take effect when she gives birth, the fetus does not acquire it, because the fetus does not exist in the world when he transferred the ownership. Versus Rav Sheshet, it said that in both this case and the other, the fetus acquires the item. And in Mitzvah Shem tomorrow, we're going to elaborate on that for the sugya of the ger and the connection between the ger and our sugya.